I'm going to show you how I put together the demo file for our labeling lesson today. I've been playing around with some of the other tools that we've already lectured on. Thought you might be interested in seeing some of the other features that we didn't really go into depth on. To get started, I've just drawn the boundary of the property that I'm designing for. And so in this case, it's going to be 150 feet wide and 100 feet high. I just want to do a curvy, really serpentine path through here. And this was inspired by a garden that I saw in Garden Design magazine. It had this beautiful black glazed brick, and I believe it was a public park. I couldn't find a reference photo to share with you, but I thought it would be fun to play around with in Vectorworks. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the Polyline tool, and then I'm going to play with the tangent and arc mode. And basically what that does is it wants to make each arc tangent from the last click. And so I'm going to go ahead and just click and start drawing down there. And then depending on like how far and the direction that you pull from gives you a different radius for this. And I don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to hit delete a couple times, go backwards. Just making these nice S-curves that I think would make a really interesting pathway. All right, so I can see that I have some strange little divot in there. I'm just going to go in and clean that up. I'm kind of wondering if I've got an extra vertice right there. Nope. So let's just try to change the shape of that. And if that won't work, kind of come and click and drag and see if that can be improved. And so it still looks a little strange to me, but we're going to go with it. So now that I have my curve, what I'm going to do is I am going to use the Create Objects by Shape in order to create my hardscape. So landmark, create objects from shapes, object type is hardscape, select to show the properties dialog box, and then select to delete that source shape. Click OK. And then under configuration, this time I'm going to use pathway, and I'm going to try making this a large pathway. I'll go with 8 feet. And then for draw 2D, in our previous demo, we really didn't look very much at joint patterns. I just told you that they were there. And one of our joint patterns that we have is for pavers for a curved path. And then once you select that option, you get this other dialog box. And so I'm going to pretend like these are just your average size bricks. So for the paver width across path, it's going to be 4 inches. For the length of the paver, it's going to be 8 inches. And then for the next joint course, I basically want like a running bond. So I'm just having it shift by 50%. So click OK. And then down here, I just selected that all pathway borders are on. For Draw 3D, I have a slab, and for brick, I did 2 inches thick. I don't have anything in annotations, so I'm going to click OK. And then it gives me this pretty cool serpentine pattern. And I mentioned that the brick was a like a black glazed brick, so I'm going to come over here and pick a really dark gray. Let's see if that took it. Okay, there we go. So now I have my really dark color, and I think I'm going to give myself a lighter outline. And I'm going to bump my box, my property boundary up a little bit, because when I created that path, it basically, you can see that center line is the polyline that I had drawn previously. And so I kind of, with that 8-foot path, got off the page or off the boundary lines right there. So I'll just make a little adjustment. But just wanted you to see some of the other modes for the Polyline tool, and also find out a little bit more about using the pathway configuration and playing around with some of those joint patterns that are available in the Hardscape tool.